Welcome back, everybody, to Weather Animations. Today, we investigate the 2006 Atlantic hurricane season, where 10 tropical depressions formed, all of which became tropical storms, 5 hurricanes, and 2 major hurricanes. This 2006 Atlantic hurricane season was rather quiet compared to last, and this shows with the damage and fatality numbers. Only 14 fatalities for this entire season, and just over $500 million worth of damages, which is down substantially from the previous record-setting year. Sit back, relax, and watch as this Atlantic hurricane season unfolds before your eyes. We begin this Atlantic hurricane season with Tropical Storm Alberto. Alberto did not do much, as you can tell. It's only a tropical storm. However, it did almost reach hurricane status. And yes, it's made landfall in Florida, the Panhandle, as a tropical storm before it quickly dissipated and then emerged off the North Carolina coast, where it strengthened slightly as a post-tropical storm and then progressed way off to the north and east into the North Atlantic towards the European countries. Next up, we have an unnamed tropical storm. It didn't do much, that's why it's not named. It did make landfall in Newfoundland, though, as not much of anything. So, not much to speak of there. Next up, we have Tropical Storm Beryl. Beryl made a very close approach to the New England coast. Nice little rhyme there. And we can see it was barely a tropical storm at that time, where it may have made landfall in Nantucket and then obviously again in Nova Scotia, Newfoundland. Okay, moving on. Next we have Tropical Storm Chris. Chris did not last that long. Peak intensity at 65 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure just over 1,000 millibars at 1,001. Did not do much. As we can tell here, it was mainly just a fish storm and brought some unsettled weather to the Caribbean islands and those of the Bahama chain. Next up, we have Tropical Storm Debbie. All right, Debbie was certainly a fish storm, did not do anything to any land, which is a good thing. Maximum intensity at 50 miles an hour, minimum central pressure 999 millibars, and it just kind of hung out in the Atlantic Ocean. These are the type of storms we like to see. Next up, we have our first hurricane in a chain of 5. The rest of the storms this season will be hurricanes. Ernesto was a hurricane for a very short period of time, right about now, and that's it. Okay, moving on. We're looking at a tropical storm again with a very, very small wind field, actually. Made landfall in Cuba there, and then it made its way towards the peninsula of Florida, where, yes, it made landfall again in the Keys, and then emerged off the Florida coast, where then it moved towards the North Carolina coast and made landfall again. And after which it just stayed on land, producing unsettled weather for the mid-Atlantic and Northeast. Moving on, Hurricane Florence. This is not the Hurricane Florence from a couple of years ago, obviously, because this is 2006. Again, hurricane, like I said, max intensity, 90 miles an hour, minimum central pressure, 974 millibars, so pretty sizable storm. And the wind field was rather large on this storm, considering its central pressure. As we can see with the 34 knot winds with those light teal colors there. Close approach to the island of Cuba there. As you can see, it passed off towards the west as a Category 1 storm, where it then began off to the north. And again, Newfoundland is a hot topic for debate in this season, where a lot of hurricanes and tropical storms bypassed or came very close to. Again, sped off towards the North Atlantic, where it kind of just meandered around there for quite some time and not much else to speak of with Florence close to the island of Iceland. Moving on, we have our first major hurricane of the season, Hurricane Gordon. Luckily for us, Gordon was a fish storm. Did not make any landfall as a hurricane. Maximum intensity at 120 miles an hour, so just barely in Category 3 status. Minimum central pressure is 955 millibars. You can see it kind of just hanging out there. There was its major hurricane path in that dark red there. Again, fish storm, not much to speak of with this one. Very compact, as we can see from the wind field there. Make a dart towards the islands in the North Atlantic there. Again, quick pass, as pretty much just a mid-latitude cyclone at that point. And yeah, we could just see it hanging out yet again. And loop-de-loop, and right back towards Europe we go. All right, moving on to our next major hurricane and final major hurricane of the season. Luckily, again, this was also a fish storm and occurred right around the same time as Hurricane Gordon. Helene was, again, major hurricane, same peak intensity at both wind speed and minimum central pressure as Gordon. Again, 120 miles an hour, 955 millibars. You can see there is the major hurricane status for Helene, and again, very short-lived major hurricane. Fish storm, great news, and it just kind of hung out in the Atlantic Ocean for some time. Wind field was rather symmetric there, we can see with those teal 34 knot wind radii there. Not too much more to speak of for this storm, as it just kind of putzes its way off towards the north and east, towards, of course, Europe, where we can see it gets close to the island of Great Britain. All right, moving on to Hurricane Isaac. This is our last storm of the season in this rather short Atlantic hurricane season in terms of numbers, especially compared to the previous one. Isaac maxed out at 85 miles an hour, which is only Category 1. Minimum central pressure, 985 millibars. And we can see that hurricane path there, where it was in Category 1 status, again, close to the island of Newfoundland. That being said, this wraps up the 2006 Atlantic hurricane season. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. I look forward to seeing you in future videos where we analyze other Atlantic hurricane seasons. Next up will be the 2007 Atlantic hurricane season, as I am going chronologically through the years, and I look forward to seeing you in that one.